So one thing I have been noticing a lot recently with playing Forza Horizon 2, and what's kind of funny to me is I've also been noticing a lot of people mentioning it in comments, is simply down to the fact of Forza Horizon 2's entire vibe honestly just being so dang different. And what's kind of crazy to me is we are playing this game in 2026. You know what I mean? Like, this is obviously not a brand new game that just released, but even today, though, you could still feel the atmosphere and the different vibe this game really had, even now, which it's honestly kind of mind-blowing to me, man. I've been really trying to break this down a little bit to myself, and that's kind of the big thing I was thinking about a bit. When I am playing Forza Horizon 2, it keeps bringing me back into that time of when the game did end up coming out, right? So it's probably more along the lines of how this game really does make you feel, which is probably one of the biggest factors of honestly a lot of things in life, right? But the thing is, though, the more I do end up playing Forza Horizon 2, I feel like there's a few different factors of this game that really do kind of just stick with you in a way. One of which I really do feel like is the entire Mediterranean atmosphere this game has with where it is located. You know, northern France, part of Italy, which I honestly think they completely nailed this map's design. Some people might be like, oh, the map is too small, or maybe the map isn't big enough. Personally, I think the map is a great size, plenty of great places to go explore, race around, you know, go to different places like Nice or something like that, or I should say Nice, it's not Nice. Doy. But either way, though, if you are going to a big city or you want to have the big mountain roads, this game really does capture all of it. And I do feel like that is probably a big factor in there because a lot of people are looking at the entire atmosphere that a map does give you. And Forza Horizon 2 really does set that right into it. One of my other favorite things about this game is probably down to the lighting of it, which I also think is a big reason why people probably talk about it a lot. Some people are also referring to this game and, you know, comparing it to newer games and all that. A lot of people are like, well, look at the taillights or look at the different designs of the lighting when you are driving around the map. Look at different things here and there. And that was something I was definitely finding myself doing way more than I thought I was going to. And I was driving the SLR McLaren for a road trip to the next location so I could do races with this thing, bro. I was pretty much taking forever or not really driving at the speed I could have as I was really just looking at the environments and just the overall feeling the game was giving me. I kind of just wanted to throw on some music and just drive around afterwards. That was kind of the weird feeling because let's be real here for a second though. If we are looking at a lot of open world racing games, many of them probably want you to drive around or cruise around and, you know, kind of go explore the map and stuff. But I also feel like after playing Forza Horizon 2, and this can also come back to 3 a little bit, is the game's overall tone and atmosphere really just kind of sets you up for it even more. I honestly don't even know how to explain the vibe of that. You know what I'm saying? I feel like a lot of people might end up agreeing or kind of knowing where I'm coming from with this, with how certain games could feel a lot different to you or give you like a type of vibe that you're maybe looking for. I know the game got a lot of hate back in the day, but another game I did end up playing was Need for Speed Most Wanted 2012. I've always loved the vibe of Fairhaven in that game, and that was something I've always thought about. And that can come down to a few different things. For example, you may end up loving the music or the soundtrack in that game, which can also add on to the environment you're driving in or the different types of environments you might be driving in, whether it's raining or dust, nighttime, different times during the day. And the game can also add on to a mood that you might be listening to different music or, you know, all that stuff could also come together, which can increase the vibe or make things different or put you in like a different type of mood, maybe relax you and stuff. And I don't know, I know this might sound kind of dumb, but I really have been noticing this a lot with Forza Horizon 2. The amount of times I've just hit the road and kind of just drove around, went to some of my favorite roads, you know, along the coastal side over there. I absolutely love that side of the map, just cruising up that with the sun coming down. It's just absolutely beautiful. It really sets an amazing vibe, and I was just kind of chill and relaxed, you know what I'm saying? And one of the other things I kind of thought about in Forza Horizon 2 that might honestly sound a bit dumb to people is I kind of like the way they did end up doing the entire championship thing. Now, the reason why I do want to explain this a little bit is people might be like, what do you mean, dude? It was repetitive, or it wasn't that fun, or, you know, doing the thing where you had to drive to each location wasn't all that entertaining, even though I honestly really enjoyed that. But that also kind of set a vibe because you were driving to each location, then you would end up doing the races. And the thing is, I also don't know where people stand on the entire road trip thing that you had to do when, if you know, you wanted to pick that championship, you had to drive there, you get XP, you could pretty much run any car that you want to. Like, you drive a Ferrari if you have it, a truck, Really depends on what you want to drive to that next location or what you are picking for that championship. But personally, I did really enjoy these. I found the vibe to be fun. I would throw on some music on my phone and kind of just race there in like, a couple of minutes and then start doing the championships. But one of the things I also liked about the championships is in a way it didn't feel like it was overloading you with races. Okay, I know this might sound kind of dumb, but I kind of like how it focused the way that it did on the championship that you were doing, because you could then, here we go, you could vibe with those classes that you are running in those events and then pick another class that you want to race and do those. I thought this design was really fun in this game, and I feel like that also added on to the overall vibe of it, on top of the map and the different classes you can use. And you can also build those like S1, B, engine swap, and all that will also add on a different experience with the vehicles that you are using, which is something I've always loved about Forza for me personally. With every single game I have played so far, dude, I love how you can actually do this stuff. Now, I do know Forza Horizon 1 might not be as insane as 2, 3, 4, and 5 with some of this stuff, but I really do like the fact that you can go in and change the engine of that vehicle, tune it a little bit, do some of that stuff. And you know what? I'm also more open to a full-on vibing factor to the game. What I mean by that is being more minimalistic. Sometimes that might be the better way to do it. And speaking of that, though, I haven't even played Forza Horizon 1 yet, so I can't really judge it, but I am looking forward to seeing what people do mean by that game being a tad more minimalistic. I do know there's not tuning and all that stuff, but I'll jump into all that when I do end up playing it. Speaking of vibes, though, I was driving the S2000 here in Forza Horizon 2, man. I did end up picking a road specifically, or trying to find another driving road, which I don't know why, but there's a lot of fun driving roads in Forza Horizon 2. I love the way this map is designed with the driving roads. I am currently using the S2000 in this clip, and I was kind of just trying to find a good coastal road, and y'all know I went to the big road on the right part of the map that kind of goes along the entire coast. I absolutely love driving along that road. It is so dang fun to do. And that was the other thing I thought about, is we all do know how some of the game's soundtracks, I mean like Need for Speed or other racing games, you can throw those into that game and also vibe out. So I did end up going into Need for Speed Hot Pursuit. I did end up playing Chitty Bang on this game when I was driving the coast, and also 30 Seconds to Mars, to see how that would vibe in. And dude, I was just straight vibing the entire time on this coastal road. It's kind of insane, like the overall lighting, the atmosphere, and just the warm Mediterranean type of tone this area has with the sun coming down. I feel like the entire road by itself could be a vibe on top of the entire part of the map. It's just wild to me, the way Forza Horizon 2 really does make you feel. Even if you've never played this game before and you jump on it, I really feel like you'll feel some type of nostalgic from it, which is kind of crazy, because I was getting comments about this of people feeling very similar to me on that, which is kind of wild. If you never played like an old game, but you jump on it, you can kind of feel like the overall nostalgia the game had to it, and it kind of puts you in a weird trance of that time back then, which I kind of feel like is great for memories. It really did spark a lot for me and stuff when I was playing this game, which we all do know, again, gaming is the type of thing that can definitely be a great way to make you maybe feel better having a bad day, or, put you in a better mood if things might not be going all that great. And for me, Forza Horizon 2 has definitely been a racing game. I wasn't expecting myself to just cruise around for hours on end or just mess around with the map, as I haven't honestly done that in a while. I was doing it in Forza Horizon 5 a bit. I do actually off-road drive on there pretty often. But when I jumped on Forza Horizon 2, I found myself kind of vibing out in this game a lot more. This game really does have a special feeling to it, and I really hope people, if they haven't played it, they get to try it, because I think many would feel the exact same way. But with all that being said, I am curious to know your thoughts on this. What do y'all think about the vibe of Forza Horizon 2 compared to like newer Forzas or even modern games in general? Do y'all think the older games like Forza Horizon 2 really did feel different than what they do now? I am curious, as honestly playing them, I kind of think they do have a different vibe to it, and to be real, we kind of need that back in some games.